476. That's the number of prisoners Pakistan has executed since lifting the moratorium in December 2014. That's an average of 3.5 prisoners a week. The death penalty was reintroduced by the government because it wanted to 1. Prevent terrorism, 2. Deter crime, and 3. Restore law and order. But is it working? So let's deal with the first claim, that the death penalty prevents terrorism. Pakistan has seen a decrease in terrorist crimes in the past few years. But is it because we're executing terrorists? A closer look at the data reveals that less than 16% of all executions were of those people convicted by the anti-terrorism courts. The majority of death sentences were handed out by the regular criminal courts that have no jurisdiction over terrorist offenses. These graphs show a spike in executions in the wake of a major terrorist attack, and none of these executions are related to the actual attack. It seems like terrorist attacks are an excuse for arbitrary executions. What about the second claim, that the death penalty deters crime? Punjab, Pakistan's most populous province, accounts for 83% of all executions, whereas Sindh accounts for only 4%. Now, which would you expect to have the lower crime rate? In the past 2 years, Punjab has experienced only a 9.7% drop in the murder rates, whereas Sindh's murder rate has dropped a whopping 25%. This clearly shows that there is no connection between the death penalty and deterring crime. We've also noticed another worrying trend, that the most number of executions take place in the most overpopulated jails in Pakistan. So for every 70 prisoners that were added to an overpopulated jail, 1 prisoner was executed. Are executions being used to alleviate massive overcrowding in Pakistan's prisons? Because if that's the case, we need to reduce mass incarceration, not increase the number of executions that take place. So let's take a look at who we're really hanging. Since December 2014, Pakistan has executed some of its most vulnerable citizens. These include the mentally ill, the physically disabled, juvenile offenders, and impoverished defendants who lack the resources to engage proper legal representation. There are no millionaires on Pakistan's death row. The death penalty does not fix the failings of our criminal justice system, which remains mired in corruption, beholden to power, and creates a permissive environment for the routine miscarriage of justice. Until the government of Pakistan can ensure that they will not wrongfully convict or execute its most vulnerable citizens, we cannot just stand by and allow these indiscriminate killings of our most vulnerable citizens to continue. Join our call to stop these indiscriminate killings and to bring back the moratorium. Bring it back.